Welcome, everybody, to our Fierce Leader interview with Lindsay King. She is a silver wellness advocate. And well, I admire Lindsay for like a million and one different things. And I'm excited to be able to have this time with her, ask these questions. And actually, there's some things about her beginning of her journey that I don't remember. So I think we're all going to laugh about them together, right, Linz?
Yes.
Okay, so Lindsay, how did you first hear about doTERRA?
The real answer of how I first heard about doTERRA was actually my friend Jenny Kim. We were at a mom's club meeting and she said, there's these essential oil things going on. And there's a company called doTERRA. I'm hearing really good things about it. And if you hear anything about it, I feel like you'd be great for it. But if you hear anything about it, I will be the first person to sign up under you. And then I kind of forgot about it and I didn't think about it. And then I had some issues with Grayson, our newborn. He was a couple days old.
Hmm.
And we found ourselves needing some support because we just couldn't find a solution. And my mom had overnighted something that someone she knew this would help. And it ended up being this little bottle. I still have the letter and the bottle to this day. And it ended up being Melissa Werner. I did not know the famous Melissa Werner until that moment. But she had overnighted some oils, and the magic worked on Grayson, our newborn. And I didn't know at the time that that was doTERRA because it was in a little roller bottle that she had made for us with some instructions. And when I asked my mom how we could get more for some digestive support, she said, "Oh, it's doTERRA." And me not recognizing what that meant and not remembering the conversation that I had with my friend Jenny, I immediately thought, oh, okay. So I Googled doTERRA thinking, and then I remember thinking like, okay, do I do doTERRA Walmart? Do I do doTERRA Target? How do I find this doTERRA product? And it wasn't coming up. So I remember calling my mom and just saying, this is amazing. Grayson's doing so much better. I'm trying to find where I can go buy this doTERRA thing, but it's not coming up anywhere local. Can you give me other ideas of where I could search? And she's like, well, it's a company. I'm like, well, I get that. It's a company. And she said, well, it's like you have to find someone. I'm like, okay, well, who do I find? Like, how do I know? And she goes, me. You find me. um, so I was like, I still don't quite understand. She's like, well, it's kind of like Tupperware, but it's essential oils. And so you have to have a connection. You have to have someone who can support you. And I'm like, I didn't know you did that. And so that led into a whole conversation. I'm like, my mom does essential oils. So who knew?
I remember when my mom was like, I'm making this roller bottle and it's for Laura Whipperman's daughter. And I was like, my mom is at the forefront of all of this. But I remember brainstorming, being like, what about this? Or like, what oil? And we talked about it's the swirly roller bottle. I remember that had
It
the swirls
is.
on
Yeah.
it and some of those fun memories. So it's kind of crazy to look back. Jenny Kim, that's so funny.
And don't tell your mom, but I actually didn't read. She wrote out beautiful, and your mom has gorgeous handwriting. She wrote out beautiful instructions. It was like, here's some information that I printed off the internet. Here's gorgeous instructions. It's all laid out. You can't mess this up. And I literally was so desperate for a solution for my son that I didn't read it. I tore open that package and I was like a religious person anointing my son with oils. And I was like, we're going to sprinkle this everywhere. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it worked instantly. And come to find out, there was actual instructions. So I wouldn't have to use so much of it. And I could use a little bit and make it go a lot further. But I honestly did not read it until after I used it.
Well, a young baby, nobody's going to hold you, judge you for anything that can be done in that time period.
So it's foolproof. I didn't even have to read instructions and it just
So I mean, you fell in love with the roller that was sent to you. That's funny. You're right. It wouldn't have said anything about doTERRA on it realistically. Was there like a first product that you fell in love with, or how did you ultimately like get a kit and get started? What did that look like?
Okay, so more secrets.
So funny.
I honestly was not a huge fan of the smell, but because of the wonders that it did for our son, and then immediately after it did wonders for our daughter, and then honestly it did amazing work on my 30 plus year system of my own. And so I fell in love with the oil, not so much the smell. I fell in love with the benefits of digestion, and that really sold me. I really wanted like a gallon hooked up like an IV to our entire family, and it was such a game changer for just the fights that we would have of what to eat. And you need a high fiber diet because here's all the things that we're working on, but it's like, or we could not fight, and we could not spend hours in the bathroom, and we could have an enjoyable experience where you actually enjoy food and enjoy the natural cleansing processes of your body by the use of digestion. Um, but the first oil that I fell in love with and I had to just wear every day because I was a young mom was Serenity. And still to this day, it's one of my favorites.
So that was like Heidi's oil, that's Sonia's oil, that's so interesting. Okay, Serenity. So did you like what kid when it came to the point of like you were discovering like, oh, I can't just Google this. Oh, my mom, I have to like, so then what? Then what happened?
Okay. I was one of those people. I was one of those people that I'm sure you guys all know, but I just really wanted digestion. So I didn't try anything else. My mom and Melissa had worked together to send me digestion, and they had said, well, there's other things. There's other things that you should know. And I'm like, I just want the digestion. So that's what I did. And I was a big girl. I had my own children. However, my mom just sent me oils. I didn't really pay for them. And in fact, she sent me samples with the digestion that I promptly hid or threw out or moved to the back of the medicine cabinet for months. And it wasn't until I came to Wisconsin on a visit because we live over on the West Coast. And unbeknownst to me, and I am so grateful for my mom, but she had actually enrolled me with a kit. I didn't know this. It was sitting on our bed when we came to visit. And it was the Family Essentials kit,
Mhm.
which was gorgeous. And I never cracked it open. I never asked any questions. I saw it sitting there the entire visit. We were there for 6 weeks. And it was the day that we were leaving when she said, hey, you know that friend Melissa that sent you that roller bottle and helped you with Grayson? Would you like to meet up with her before you hop on the plane? Anthony can watch the kids. We'll just go have coffee with Melissa, and then we'll take you to the airport. I'm like, that sounds great. Let's do that. I'm so excited to meet this woman. She's changed our lives with one oil, one sample. Um, and it was very quickly apparent that Melissa and my mom had talked about how much I could use the oils in our family's life and how beneficial they would be. And I believe, based on the conversation, that they might have also chatted about me doing this as a business, because at that meeting, I was invited to go to convention. I didn't even know I was enrolled, but I was invited to go to convention 2 weeks in the future. And I was like, let's do it. So that's how I got started in doTERRA.
Mm, I just love that. My first convention was your first convention, and you were just reminding me of the story of when, like, day one, you like leaned forward and said, like, past would be which direction? You were here, past me to my mom. What'd you say?
Yes, my mom will never let me forget the fact that I didn't tell her I was doing this as a business first. She gifted me these oils. She enrolled
Secretly
me.
enrolled you.
She helped me get to convention. And I remember sitting at convention. It was the first day of convention. And it was actually the first session, and all of the owners had come out and kind of done their spiel of why they were so passionate about the culture of doTERRA and what it, all of the things that it offers and all the ways it lifts the world. And I remember wiping away tears, and my mom's on one side of me, and I remember looking the other way. You were on the other side of me, and I look past you, and I'm like, I'm going to do this as a business. And my mom's like, wait a second, did you just tell her you're going to do this as a business and you didn't even have, you couldn't even tell me? And I'm like, I sure did. And so I remember we had our first little break, 15-minute break between sessions. And I called my husband on his cell phone. I said, I'm doing this. Like, I was all in, just listening to the passion from those owners.
Mm.
Oils aside, I was like, whatever these people are doing, I'm all in, and sign me up. So
Mm.
luckily I had already had my kit. I was ready to go.
Thank goodness your mom had it all covered.
And your mom pulled me aside on the lunch break and she said, if you are serious, I will fly out to California and I'll help you with your
Mhm.
first class. Cause I had never attended a class. And she's like, I'll help you. And sure enough, 2 weeks after we got back from convention, your mom flew out to California, stayed with us. And I was actually doing statistics because I like this. Um, I had 13 enrollments that first month after convention. And I had within the first 3 months after convention, I had over 30 enrollments in those 3 months. I had over $3,600 in sales. I had over $700 in commission.
Mm.
I had over $700 in, at this time, we had this thing called Share Program. I don't know if you remember that.
The
So I
credit.
had over $700 in free product from the Share Program. Plus I was earning our my LRP, 10% back on whatever I was ordering. Um, and I think my unilevel commission for like those 3 months was like $60 because I was just starting. But my fast start bonus, that's where I was over $700 in fast start.
Oh my goodness. That's amazing. I love that you have those stats ready. See, guys, this is why we love Lindsay, because Lindsay's so good about this stuff. So tell us all, like, what are the ways? I love your passions. I love how you're wired. Like, what are the ways that you've been able to incorporate doTERRA into like things you love, passions, even the work that you're doing right now?
That's an excellent question. So I incorporate my passions of organizing, as you can see. So I love organizing. I love that I can help people. I love DIYs and crafting. So my budget that I had for gifting people is almost at zero. I don't have to go out and buy a separate gift for anyone anymore. It's more just the card at this point. And I use my oils as a gift. So I will make a DIY for someone. I include them in the process. People ask for that. And so either I use products that I've received as free, or like I said, I like to DIY. So I'll make them a roller bottle of things that I wish for them. And I'll pull out the emotional side of oils and what it can offer. And just being able to get together and socialize and have a community. That's always something I've been drawn to. I'm an empath, but I also like a social butterfly. And so I love doing something as a group. And so having classes has been something that has always intrigued me and pushed me forward in the business. And I loved being able to teach people how to do Symphony of the Cells, or to do the aroma touch, or how to make a roller. Or I have had kid classes. We've had here's just how to make a sample. Here's how to gift something to somebody else. We've had lotions and all the fun things. We've had holiday ones, which was really fun, that my team has helped put together. And so I think just the creative side of everything really excites me.
Mhm. It's such a home run for you, and like your love for helping and your love for creating and your love for teaching, and it's so interesting for me to watch that. Tell us, like, what is it that you want to be able to create with what you're doing with doTERRA?
I would love my current passion right now for what I would love to create, because I feel like I've reached my first goal, which is kind of just pay for my oils. My next goal was to just make some extra spending money. I feel like I've attained those pretty quickly, and I've been able to sustain that. So my next goal is I really want to pour into the service side of the oils, and I would love to create a team from our team. I would love to create a team and go on a service project to one of the places that doTERRA sources. I would love to donate more to the Healing Hands Foundation. Just our team within the last, since October,
Mm.
has donated over $800 to the Healing Hands Foundation through events that we've had, COVID events that we've had, to donate to that program. And so I really want to pour into the service side. That's my next goal.
I like that. What is like the biggest benefit you feel like you've gotten out of all of this, journey for you?
This was when I watched other interviews, this was like the hardest one. I'm like, I can only pick one thing. uh, I mean, honestly, at the beginning, it was the health benefits of, like, it literally changed our lives, the health benefits. Um, I can't imagine what I used to feel like before oils.
Mhm,
And I had no idea that there was another way. So that was life changing.
mhm,
Another benefit was being able to do this business with my mom and just being able to connect and have fun stuff and social stuff, and across 3,000 miles be able to do this business was amazing.
mhm,
And I think just connect with people, have that like light bulb moment where they're feeling supported and cared for and on the right journey for wellness. But just learning new things and trying new things, and um, building those relationships and being able to offer something to someone in a moment that just like, oh my gosh, that changes my life. And watching the oils change their lives is, it's when I worked in service when I was little, and we would go on our annual church service events every year, they restored me, they re-energized me. Going to convention re-energizes me, and having those light bulb moments where people's lives are changed, it's that re-energizing, and it's like, this is why we do what we do.
mhm.
So I live for those moments.
If somebody was considering starting a doTERRA business, right now, like, what would you say to them? Why is now a good time to consider doing that?
I feel like we're in a time and place where everyone is sharing their opinions, and it's so easy to just share things that bring you joy, things that have helped you, positivity. And so if there's a way that you can positively impact someone by sharing something that you're already doing, you're not creating extra work for yourself. You're not pulling extra time out of a schedule that you're already maxed out on, and you can get a benefit from it aside from helping someone. If you can earn a free oil out of it because you've connected someone to oils, if you can earn some commission on it, if you can pay an extra bill of some based on something that you're already doing. People on social media, that's all that you're doing, is you're sharing you're sharing your life with someone. So do it intentionally.
Mm.
So
Wait, was Denny Kim your first enrollment?
Jenny Kim was my first enrollment. As soon as I realized, oh, this is what she meant, I called her and I invited her to my first class, and she was the first of 5 from that class that your mom helped me teach. Yeah,
Denny Kim. I love it. Is there anything else you want to share with the group? Anything that we're missing?
I love the oils. I love if you ever want like to see products, accessories that aren't doTERRA related, and where I find color coded things,
Mhm.
um, Sonia and I can hook you up.
That's right. Look at the beauty in Lindsay's background. This is why I like to talk to her. She's got all the things. She does know all the things, and it's always pretty and organized and well done. Just let me tell you that.
It's a blessing and a curse. We find things and then we gift them to people. Yes.
That's right. Well, Linz, I appreciate you taking the time. I love hearing about your story and getting some greater insight into those pieces of the puzzle. So we appreciate you and all that you do and all that you bring to the equation. Oh, I've never met anybody like Lindsay King, and I love Lindsay King. So this is wonderful.
Thank you, Amy.